In this lab, we will talk about AEPs by running an ABR on the Interacoustics Eclipse. Here is a picture of the hardware and the software that we have in the Hofstra Clinic. So starting out, we have the insert earphones. What I am holding is what will be clipped onto the patient. It's both the left and the right ear, and the connection is behind the hardware where it says number 10 and 11. Headphones. This is a preamplifier where the electrodes are connected to. This is the connection point of the electrodes, which are color-coded as shown. We are only running with the left ear today, so the right electrode isn't connected. This is the abrasive gel we use to take off dead tissues or makeup from the skin where the electrodes will be placed. And this is the conducting gel used on certain electrodes to reduce impedance. The electrodes I'm using in this video do not call for conducting gel only because it's already manufactured inside it. So we're going to skip this step. So this is my setup. Usually the audiologist is doing this in the clinic and the patient is relaxing. We have Q-tips, the electrodes, gauze pads, and I just placed some abrasive gel on a tissue to avoid cross-contamination. So start scrubbing where you want the electrodes to be and scrub generously until the skin is pink. You can see in this clip that my skin turned pink. That is a good sign. So after you wipe off the excess gel and place the electrodes on, if you're using conducting gel, you would place that on the electrode first and then stick it onto the patient. Here I'm doing a vertical montage of the electrode, which means that the vertex electrode is placed on the high forehead, the ground, which is the black one, is placed below it, and the last electrode, which is the test ear, goes on my left mastoid. All that is left is to put the insert earphone in and your setup is ready. What I forgot to show is that after I went back and braided the electrodes. Here's a picture of a gentleman undergoing the same ABR that I am doing. You can see that his electrodes are loosely braided, and that's important to decrease artifact. So now that we have everything set up, we have to check the impedance of the electrodes to ensure that it is all below 5 kiloohms. The lower the impedance, the better. So I turned on the preamplifier by pressing the button that says IMP, short for impedance. If you look at the top, you can see that we have lights that represent the impedance for the right, vertex, ground, and left electrode. The dial that my hand is on has various numbers around it that represent the impedance. So in this screenshot, the dial is on 3 kiloohms currently, and all 3 electrodes are green. Remember, we went below 5, so this is great. Now you'll see me playing with the dial to see which electrode has the highest impedance of the 3. And the first one to go is the left, and that was around 2 kiloohms. So now to run a test, this is the startup screen where you input the patient data, and this is the main screen for the ABR. I know it's a bit difficult to see, but we are inputting the parameters from the lab into the setup. So after running the test, the final results are ABR waves. This is a picture I got from the Interacoustics website that shows various ABR waves at different intensities. The little box in the corner here shows the EEG waves of the patient. If your patient is actively moving around, the waves will be very, very busy, which is not ideal for this specific test. We want the patient to be very calm and preferably sleeping. And this is the final product from my session with Esther. What is highlighted in green is both wave 3 and wave 5, but you only have to worry about the last one. Do you think wave 5 is elicited at an appropriate latency? Yes, if you look on the x-axis, the 5th wave is around 5.5 milliseconds, which is completely within the norms.